beautiful day for flying drones, and that's specifically what we're doing today with GoPro and Sport Check. We checked out the relatively new GoPro Karma that launched last year.
That's right.
This is Kelly Baker, who works at GoPro. Thank you, first of all, for having us out and for giving us toys. You gave us the Karma drone and the Karma Grip and the Hero Black 5 camera. Tell us about these cool GoPro toys.
Yeah, this has been a really exciting next step for GoPro to move kind of beyond the camera itself and really give people a whole bunch of tools so that they can take their creativity and their content to the next level and give them awesome, stabilized, really steady, beautiful footage, whether they want to take it from the air or for any activity that they do on the ground.
Awesome. Well, you got a bunch of Vancouver bloggers out here, and you got us who are kind of video game tech entertainment nerds.
Yeah.
But these drones are everywhere. Everybody is using them. Is that part of what the GoPro strategy is now, is to not just look at surfers and snowboarders and sort of include more sort of walks of life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as a company, we want to always maintain and stay true to the kind of those core, maybe action sports audiences, which is really where we got our start.
Yep.
But what we've learned over the years is that GoPro cameras are really for everybody. They're for the family that's going on vacation and they want to chase their kids around at the water park or, around the amusement park. They're for people that are into we see people using them really creative ways in the kitchen as they're cooking. We're seeing it used in golf and tennis, sports that would maybe be considered more traditional. We're really just seeing people use the camera in such incredible creative ways to capture everyday life moments, not just these big epic, skydiving type moments. And so we really wanted to continue to evolve our products to address those use cases and really put a GoPro in everybody's hand and help them capture and share their life and their passions with their friends and family.
Awesome. Well, speaking of in your hands, you actually have the Karma Grip and the Black Hero 5 camera. Hero 5 Black. Sorry, I got to get all these terms right. Why would you need this? Because there already is image stabilization, I think, to a degree in the camera itself, right?
Sure. To a degree, there is some image stabilization already in the camera itself. But a lot of the activities that people do on the ground are inherently kind of bouncy or there's movement. So again, imagine chasing your kids around the neighborhood park or the jungle gym, or maybe mountain biking or on your motorcycle or even skiing and snowboarding. A lot of these activities have a lot of natural bounce and movement to them. And that is reflected in the content that you get. And what people desire the most is to kind of have that Hollywood movie.
They want James Bond, right?
They want James Bond, exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, this Karma Grip and the stabilizer and the Karma drone help people achieve that really simply and just using their GoPro camera in a regular day. So it really does a great job of smoothing out any type of bounce or vibration and just giving you really super smooth content so that you're not distracted by movement, but you're just kind of capturing that activity.
I have the DJI Osmo Mobile, and I've been using it on my phone, and I love it. It's a really cool piece of tech.
Yeah.
The first thing that I noticed with this, and I haven't really played with this yet, so I don't know how I feel about it, but the first thing that I noticed is the stabilizer arm is sort of blocking part of the screen when I was looking at it. But then you pointed out that you can attach it to the free GoPro Capture app.
Correct.
And you can watch video on your phone that you're shooting with this camera in real time.
Absolutely. So the Capture app is a free app that you can download through, whatever app store that you use for iOS or for Android.
Yep.
And really what it does is, it serves a lot of functions, but one of them is it serves as a viewfinder for your camera. Mm-hmm. So you could be shooting over here, but looking at your phone and understanding that, okay, I'm getting that soccer field behind me and the tent, and here's what the people are doing without having to turn or have it be awkward. So it's like having that second screen device, which is really helpful if you have the camera maybe mounted or using it in a place where it's not obvious for you to look at the screen and actually see what you're shooting.
And right away, I noticed that was a huge addition to this whole thing, because you suddenly do feel like you're a bit of a cinematographer with this and the director with this,
That's
which
right.
is kind of rad,
That's right. You can serve both roles, yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so we've got this stabilizing, you have the grip and you've got the stabilizer in here. Now, the thing that's interesting is you pop this off, right? This actually comes out.
Yep, so it's really simple. You just unlock the base, and then you can pull the stabilizer out. And then this is what pops right into the USB port on the drone, and then you're ready to take off and get amazing content in the air. But this is really the thing that like keeps it stable. So this has a motor inside that's powered either by the grip or by the drone,
right?
And that's what keeps your camera kind of smooth and steady no matter what angle you're shooting.
So the grip really is just a grip with a battery in it.
Correct.
For the most part.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the power in the battery in the grip is designed to kind of power this motor and the stabilizer to keep your camera doing what you want it to do.
And one of the things that you mentioned is now there's an extension cable that allows you to kind of put the grip into a backpack or something, right?
Sure. So imagine you're skiing or snowboarding and you want to have the stabilized content, and maybe you want to mount it on like your helmet or on like a backpack or a chest mount.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily want to be holding on to this. It's it's not big,
Well,
but
you want to be holding on to handlebars or something that won't kill you, I think, right? Yeah.
So we essentially created an extension cable that will allow you to separate the stabilizer from the grip itself. So this could be in a backpack, it could be tucked into your jacket pocket,
Right.
it can be somewhere tucked away so that you can get that stabilized footage, but without having it to be handheld or like directly on you.
What a world we live in. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that are looking at this drone that are, nervous about it.
Sure.
And also kind of questioning, like, there's a lot of safety protocols and stuff like that out there right now. What do you have to say to those people? Because obviously you want more and more people playing with the drone and getting into this idea of having something like this.
Yeah.
What's GoPro's kind of stance on all of this and, being inclusionary with getting people involved?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of the reason why we created Karma the way that we did, and all of the design and the engineering and the controller and all the elements of it, we definitely had a goal of making it more approachable and easy for people. We didn't want them to be intimidated. We didn't want them to feel like they needed like an aeronautics degree just to get this thing off the ground.
Yeah.
So everything about it from beginning to end of the experience is meant to be simple and really approachable, from the way that the legs and the arms just automatically fold in and you can put it in a backpack to carry it, from one button to turn it on and start the motors, from a very simple like game style type controller that will feel really familiar to people with joysticks.
I can confirm that. It's very game-like.
Yeah. I mean, we just wanted to make it familiar to people because I think it is intimidating, especially if you're a new flyer, someone that's never flown a drone, or a novice flyer. I mean, it's pretty scary to put something up in the air.
Most of us here today I'd never flown a drone before, but I felt like, like a super spy very quickly.
Yeah, and we also do have some training tools built into the controller, so you can like practice a little bit with the drone not even on, but you can kind of practice with the joysticks and kind of get a feel for, what's up and down and forward and back and how am I going to land it and take off. We do also have auto land and auto takeoff modes. Again, just to kind of knock down those barriers of intimidation and help people feel like this is something I can really do and have fun with, and that I can feel like I'm doing safely, and I can have my friends and family and kids around me and just have a good time and not feel like scared of it, and we really wanted to eliminate that because I think for a lot of people it is maybe a little bit intimidating.
Well, and I think part of that intimidation too is as we're getting to become more aware of drones, and they're in so many vlog videos and stuff like that, and so like Casey Neistat's the guy that I always look at, and his drone footage is incredible. But there is this concern about, maybe an over-proliferation of these things in the air and where people can and can't use them. Does GoPro help to educate the consumer base around that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, we definitely always want to provide resources for people through our website and customer support, and helping people identify how can I find out where it's safe to fly in my neighborhood, in my country, in my area. We are also part of some legislative boards and councils that are being created both in the United States and around the world of companies like GoPro and DJI and even Amazon with their drone delivery and things like that are helping government agencies figure out how do we regulate this? How do we give people the opportunity to fly and take advantage of this really cool technology that can be very fun if people do it safely, but also with public interest in mind and keeping airports and buildings and all these different
privacy concerns.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't envy the folks that are kind of behind closed doors having to figure out how to regulate it, because there's so many things to take into consideration. But
we're clearly going to a Fifth Element, Star Wars, Blade Runner kind of flying car future, right? I mean, this is leading towards that.
Sure. I mean, it's exciting to think, where this technology could kind of lead in 10, 20 years. I mean, think think about the Jetsons and those types of forward-thinking technologies that are kind of being developed as we speak. And I think this is sort of the ground floor for all of that.
Yes.
And I know people want to build smart legislation that will grow and evolve with the industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't just want to slap a Band-Aid on it, that's for sure. But I know that there's a way for people to do something like this. I mean, this is fun.
It's so
easy.
fun, yes.
We're in an open field. People
Yep.
are going to people are really enjoying themselves, and I know there's a way to find that balance.
Well, it's like the next level of kite flying, right? You've
Sure.
got a camera on it, and you can kind of let it go. I mean, it just feels so freeing and cool. And then
Yeah.
you walk home and you got the footage that
Yeah.
you did, right?
Yeah.
Which is rad.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that, I mean, you mentioned the Capture app earlier, but that's what's so cool is you have this immediate gratification. I mean, we all know we kind of are living in a society where we love that.
Yeah.
So you can see your content right away. You can post a whole clip of it. You can take, a 5 or 15-second thing that you want to post to your Instagram or your Facebook and immediately share with your friends and your viewers, hey, guess where I am right now? It's, noon in Vancouver on, this Thursday, and I'm out flying a drone with GoPro. And to be able to do that with immediacy is I think, really fun for people.
You've got the ability to take this out of the Karma drone itself,
Yes.
which leads to the inevitable question of, can you put another camera in, and are you guys working on a kind of spherical VR cameras that will interface with that so you can actually have a VR flying around experience?
Yeah, so I can't really comment on the compatibility of VR with Karma right now, but we actually did just reveal a little bit more about our 360, our consumer spherical camera, which is called Fusion. It's going to be coming out in fall of this year, like late this year, probably like November, December timeframe. We're starting a pilot program that's really more for professional users right now to kind of help us kick the tires and improve the experience. But certainly VR and 360 is huge in any type of photo and video capture, and that's something that, as GoPro, we're absolutely interested in. We want to be a leader in the technology.
Well, you mentioned that this was kind of the ground floor for this technology, and there has been a couple of learning bumps along the way. Karma was recalled, I think, when it was initially launched. What came out of that? What did you guys learn, and what should consumers kind of know about Karma today if they went into the store to buy one today?
Yeah, I mean, the initial product recall was actually kind of one of those things that was so simple. You were just kind of like, gosh, I can't believe it. But what the battery latch in the drone, we were finding that, a very small percentage were loose, and it was causing the battery to disconnect from the drone and having it lose power. As soon as we even became remotely aware of the problem, we just pulled everything.
Right.
And as you can imagine, when any brand goes through that, what happens next is extensive testing, and you don't put that product out until you're so certain that it's 100% safe for the consumer to use. And so we really did our due diligence. We worked with a lot of outside agencies to triple and quadruple check our work and make sure that Karma was going to be really safe for people to fly and that they could have 100% confidence in it, just like they do with our cameras. And since we reintroduced the product in February of this year, 2017, it's been smooth flying, so no pun intended. But yeah, it's been a really wonderful reintroduction, and what we found is that people really understood, this is a brand new product.
Sure.
It's obviously incredibly challenging to engineer it, and they understood that we identified a problem. We did everything we could to proactively fix it, and then we brought it back for people to enjoy.
That's awesome. It is a bit of a crowded airspace, no pun intended. There are other drone manufacturers out there. What's the edge against a Mavic Pro or one of the new Phantoms or something from DJI or the other competitors out there? What makes Karma a solution for people out there that is kind of unique to your platform?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few things that really set Karma apart from the competitors on the market. One is absolutely the total stabilization system. So you're not just getting a drone for aerial content, you're also getting the grip for handheld, and this can also be mounted and wearable. So I think that total package of on the ground and in the air stabilized footage is a big differentiator. I think also just that ease of use and portability. We really wanted to make it super simple for people to take this with them everywhere they go. The Mavic Pro also has a high portability, but we really feel like the design and engineering of GoPros, along with the controller, just that ease of flying that you experienced, is something that really sets it apart. And then another cool thing, just from a design and engineering standpoint, is Karma is, I believe, the only drone on the market or at least one of the very few that has a front-mounted camera. So you'll notice in most drones that the camera is actually like on the underbelly, which makes it a little bit easier from an engineering standpoint for lift and flight. But we really wanted to eliminate any propeller motion in the footage, which we were noticing was a common customer complaint from cameras that are mounted at the bottom center of the drone.
Oh, wow.
So we really made it a point, we knew we wanted to front mount it to eliminate any propeller imagery that could possibly come through, and also make it really easy to take this stabilizer on and off to put it into the grip. And so that was a lot behind the front camera design.
Awesome. We'll figure out I know you're from America. You live in San Diego.
I am.
It
feels like a San Diego day.
I know.
Today.
Thank
I brought
you.
it with me.
Thank you for this, Sunshine. We'll figure out the Canadian pricing, but what does this kit cost an American to walk into the store to buy this thing right now?
Sure. So with the drone, the Karma Grip, and a Hero 5 Black camera, it's $1,099.
Wow.
Which actually ends up getting you like about $100 to $150 discount off the camera if you were to buy everything separately.
Right.
You can buy it without the camera, and that is $799.
So if you bought it for $1,099, does it have the SD card? Like, could you go in, it's like all set up to go, or do you have to buy a few other accessories?
The only thing that you would need is an SD card.
That's it.
That's the one thing that doesn't come in the package. Everything else is in there. You're going to have your camera battery, you're going to have some extra accessories for your camera, you're going to have everything you need to fly the drone. So you put an SD card in there, charge up your battery, and you're ready to fly.
I'm in television. I've had a long career in TV, and I'm now doing internet video with everybody else out there in the world. When do we get microphone connectivity to something like this? When do we get wireless, like stick mics, so we get great audio all the time? Is that something that GoPro is looking at?
Yeah, I mean, audio is something that we're always really focused on when we create any of our products. And with Karma Grip specifically, we designed the frame to give you access to a mic so that you could get clear audio. And we're always making software improvements to help improve that audio piece. You're somewhat limited in functionality just by the multiple things that this camera is already trying to do in the stabilizer.
Yes.
But I'd say we know it's an important aspect, and it's something that we're always engineering toward.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to have a robot drone camera operator that can just fly all over the place and you're talking to them. I'm sure every news person in the world has asked you guys for one of those
Well,
already.
what is cool, actually, one thing that's important to know is that you actually can talk to your GoPro Hero 5 Black camera. That's one of the things that's really cool about it.
Yeah.
It has voice control. So when voice control is turned on, you can start and stop recording, you can change modes, you can turn your camera off. So you can actually talk to your camera and have a little bit of that robot control you just mentioned.
That's awesome. You hear that, Blake? Your days are numbered, buddy. You got to learn how to fly. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Really nice
awesome.
meeting you.
Nice to meet you
Thanks
too.
so much for coming out. And
Thank you for
had a good experience.
Had a great experience, and thank you for the toys. I can't wait to fly some more.
Yeah.
So fun, man.